Okay. So this is how people unfollow you. Like you do too many things in a row. You're like, Brock's live, Brock's live, Brock's live. You get that notification like 5 times in a row, and you're like, fuck this dude. You unfollow me, right? Don't do it. Hear me out. I got one last thing to talk about. Jeffco voting. Come on, boys and girls. We know there's a fuckload of Jeffco residents that are privy to seeing these videos. Let's give a quick run through about what we're voting for in Jefferson County, real quick. Okay. So, what I have here is the Jefferson County ballot general election. Let me get it on my screen too. Oh, shit. Shit. Dingo. Okay. So, nothing changed. So, in Jeffco, tomorrow, November 8th, 2022, after the blood moon and the seventh seals ripped open, you get to vote for federal U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt, Trudy Bush Valentine, Jonathan Dine, Paul Venable. I don't know nothing about any of these guys. You'll have to do your own research. I'm not going to make a recommendation for you. Okay? Just go look about them, read about them, and vote for the guy that you don't like. Vote for Paul. Because, like, I don't know, vote for John, maybe. Because I guarantee these two people are. You get to vote for state auditor. This is all pretty boring to me. U.S. Representative District 8. Still boring to me. State Senate District. Boring. Nobody but Republicans and Democrats in these runs. See them? Just that's it. Look, only one person running there. Yeah, you can vote for these guys. They're running against. I don't know how that judge things work. I don't even care about them. County at large, county executive, county council, District 5, county at large, county clerk. I don't care about any of this shit. This is what I care about. Constitutional Amendment 1. No. Anytime, I don't. Do you want to amend the Missouri Constitution to allow the General Assembly to override the current constitutional restrictions of state investments by the state treasurer and allow state investments in municipal securities possessing one of the top 5 highest long? Listen, you guys can read that shit. You can see that shit. What's that look like to you? Because to me, that shit looks like bullshit. It looks like them wanting to spend our money. Local government entities estimate no cost and increased interest revenue of at least 34 grand a year. Sounds really good, but why do we need a constitutional amendment for that? To allow the General Assembly to override the current constitutional restrictions of state investments by the state treasurer. We should look into why those don't forget, guys, you don't have to vote on this shit. Like, if you don't know what it is, if you don't know what you're voting for, if you don't know what you're looking at, then just don't vote on it. Like, I know you're sick of looking at me. Bear with me, man. This is Jeffco. It's late. There's a fucking eclipse going on outside. You should be awake looking out at that shit anyway. Constitutional Amendment 3. Do you want to amend? This is a no. To remove state prohibition. Let's see how they wrote this up. To remove state prohibitions on purchasing, possessing, consuming, using, delivering, manufacturing, and selling marijuana for personal use for adults over the age of 21. Require a registration card for personal cultivation. That's funny because it says remove state prohibitions, but you got to get a card. That's not removing the prohibitions. I'll read it out loud again without being slanted. Do you want to amend the Missouri Constitution to remove state prohibitions on purchasing, possessing, consuming, using, delivering, manufacturing, and selling marijuana for personal use for adults over the age of 21? Require a registration card for personal cultivation with prescribed limits. Allow persons with certain marijuana-related nonviolent offenses to petition for release from incarceration or parole and probation to have records expunged. Establish a lottery selection process to award licenses and certificates, issue equally distributed licenses to each congressional district, and impose a 6% tax on the retail price of marijuana to benefit various programs. State governmental entities estimate initial costs of 3.1 million, initial revenues of at least 7.9 million, annual costs of 5.5 million, and annual revenues of at least 40.8 million. Local governments are estimated to have annual costs of at least 35,000 and annual revenues of at least 13.8 million. Now, let me explain some things here. We're going to break that down. The money that they're going to pay, the 5.5 million that they're going to use, that's going to be used to prosecute guys like you and me if we try to compete with any of these markets without their permission. That's kind of fucked up, right? They're not going to. Also, something you need to know, people who are in prison for £3 or more aren't eligible for this expungement program until they've served their entire sentence. You need to go read the fine print. Vote no on Amendment 3. I don't know much about anything else, so I'll just read them to you, and then I'm getting the fuck off of here. Constitutional Amendment 4. Shall the Missouri Constitution be amended to authorize laws passed before December 31st, 2026, that increase minimum funding for a police force established by a state board of police commissioners to ensure such police force has additional resources to serve its communities? State and local government entities estimate no additional costs or savings related to this proposal. What? When it's worded like that, I automatically vote no. I don't know about you. No thanks. Amendment 5. Shall the Missouri National Guard, currently under the Missouri Department of Public Safety, be its own department, known as the Missouri Department of the National Guard, which shall be required to protect the constitutional rights and civil liberties of Missourians? State government entities estimate no savings and ongoing cost of $132,000 annually. Local government entities estimate no costs or savings. I want to read about that. I'm not going to give you any advice about that. Shall there be a convention to revise and amend the Constitution? No. I don't know what the fuck that is, but I guess that's just to open the door for all this shit, maybe. I don't even know. But just vote. I'm voting no for all that shit. Because you know what I don't want? More government spending. I don't want any more taxes. And to be honest with you, I don't want any more suits to represent me because I don't feel very well represented. Ladies and gentlemen, that was your Jeffco. That was your Jeffco ballot. Hashtag FTG. Have a nice night, ladies and gentlemen. Toodaloo.